Okay, so let's work on some practicing Schumann techniques. Your first question was about this part here. Okay, and how to get to the D. You say that you have trouble landing on the thumb on the D. First of all, part of that could be just where that is on your fingerboard. It could be that it's not comfortable to land there. So one way to get your thumb accustomed to where to be on the string is to do it with more of a glissando, so it's more on the string, not so much harmonic, like, and only release the string for harmonic when you get to the D. So then also, because of your camera angle, because your camera is down here, I can't really see whether your elbow is down here, if that angle is changing when you go to the thumb position. I think it probably wasn't, but you can definitely think of the forearm and the wrist moving as one piece a little bit more, so that the position of the hand doesn't really change. And it applies to actually all of the shifts that you asked about, so that your position just here, everything stays the same. There are no changes in the wrists. Okay, so that's one thing. And then I would say your the way you're coming down for the G, right? Didn't hit it now. Is maybe a little bit too forceful. So I would isolate, first of all, just and what I do is I feel more secure with the second finger. So I feel like I know better where the F sharp is. So imagine where the second finger will be falling on F sharp, and then use that as an orientation guide for the third finger to find the G. So maybe it could even help you to build that in as a little in-between step. So okay, and then you can take that out. And keep the third finger not too hard, not too forceful, because I find that when you do that, especially if your strings are just a little bit high, it's very easy to be too high, to make it too sharp. So, and also mentally, psychologically, I want that to feel like a melody and not like a mechanical passage. So I think that's also something important to think about when you're practicing all these passages. That I want that to sound like a melody and not like something mechanically precise. It's nice if your hand feels like it can do that also, but I would start from the way you want it to sound in the actual piece, and then use that as your guide to how you practice it technically. Okay, so and then we have the second question, which is bar 31, and that is yeah, right, this run. So okay, so first of all, don't forget about your sound quality. When you are practicing for the intonation, I find that sound quality is more than half of what you need to concentrate on to get this precise here. So again, you might not want to be hitting the strings so hard. You can try it really putting your fingers down more softly, like it's a melody. All right, and then I think your idea about doing the glissandi on the A string, I think that's a very good idea. When you started doing it, your exercise in the video, I saw a little extra movement here, and then also here. So there's a little bit of an angle change here, and a little extra movement in the elbow. Watch for that, and see if you can make make your forearm just into a bus for your hand, so that here everything stays in exactly the same position. So you're just alright, so hopefully you can see that not much changes here at all. And then also what I notice is this could be why, because you were just you were making a video, so you're thinking about how you present yourself. But see if you can completely release the control over your fingers, because this is really the best way you are going to be able to just let your fingers work for you. We started to talk about that yesterday in the Klassenstunde, about letting your fingers drop. So in that sense, what you're doing here is, that's pretty good. I think the way you do it can be even more relaxed and automatic. So what I would do is just find that position and let the fingers be light. Not too much force again, just, and see where do the fingers want to go when they relax. Because ultimately our aim is to slightly abuse the hand so that it just naturally falls into a cello position. So in your first position, your fourth finger will be a little bit spread out. If you notice that your fourth finger is here, then you'll have to just stretch the hand a little bit. Not like Schumann used his hand stretching machine, but just open your hand a little bit more so that your fingers can fall. And this could be particularly uncomfortable if the shoulder of your cello is in an uncomfortable place. So that might always be something that you have to control a little bit, because this might be a little too far for your fourth finger. Even so, see if you can do that using little micro shifts rather than using force from above. So still try to let your fingers just go plop, plop, okay, rather than duck. So something like that. So you could micro shift with the elbow and just keep the hand relaxed. Okay, and then after you've done all that, then you can do the glissandi. Then when you put it all together, again, what I see when you're going, I see, I'm exaggerating the bow so that you can hear what your fingers are doing. You have a lot of pressure on the first finger, then the second and fourth fingers, I'm uploading another lesson. The second and fourth fingers they don't have enough strength. And for a run, you always need to have equal strength on all the fingers. And without that strength, you lose the stability of the run. So if the fourth finger here is too light, then you kind of lose your orientation, your basis for getting to the next note. And then you have to kind of guess. So keep each finger strong, and so an extra step in your exercise could just be just vibrato scales, because not because you necessarily need to vibrate, right? But just so that you're stabilizing each finger, because in essence that is what vibrato does for your fingers. It stabilizes each finger. It makes you have to concentrate your weight on each note. Okay, so try doing that and then gradually get that faster. I think that might help a little bit better. So the next spot, measure 69 and up to 71. Right. Again, think about your finger position, the position of the fingers themselves, because they're also, now I have to remember exactly what you do this. I saw a little bit of an angle change of your hand. That can make a big difference over such a long distance. So if I start here and then I end here, I'm exaggerating, I'm sure you didn't do that, but that makes my orientation really difficult. So try to keep the hand really completely in the same position. Right, so nothing changes there, so you can just get to, let's say, the D, and then let your third finger drop onto the F. And then your shifting itself, especially here, think about how you want to move from one note to the next. Right now it seems to me like you're trying to practice the fast shift. So you're going, when I think about this passage musically, oh sorry, I forgot one part of it. You asked about substituting the third finger here. Also there, I would work more gently, not so much, but really just why? The reason is that I want to have the feeling of relaxation and ease when I play this faster. So you might say, yes, but it is fast and I have to be able to do it fast. Yes, I think it should always feel like it's slow. To me, that's really a big, huge key to this piece, to make all the shifts feel like they're slow, because it also fits into my particular musical aesthetic for this piece and for this section also. So I don't want this to sound hard and mechanical, but light and humorous. So my fingers have to feel like there's time, it's relaxed, okay? And then going from here, I feel that those three notes get steadily softer and more delicate. So I want to do the opposite from what you're doing right now, which is, if I do that kind of shift, it also makes my bow nervous. So I do this here and I do this here. It's just automatic. So I would practice by making the glissando very, very, very soft, but still audible. So you can hear where you're going. Okay, make that last one really so that you're slipping into a warm bath, very small, light, warm bath. Okay, and so this is something that you can incorporate into your practice in general. Think about the aesthetic of what you want ultimately for the piece, and try to incorporate that into the exercises you're doing, so that you are not aiming for some kind of mechanical intonation perfection, but you're always making the intonation